Hey guys, it's the History Nerd, back with some more Austrian Crusader Kings 2 adventures. Yay! So, Blowfly. You know what? I have been so focused on gaining territory. We'll just pause this for now. Are you German? Ah, excellent, so we can start rebuilding the squire lists. I've been so focused on just getting the territory that I wanted, I'd completely forgotten about these things. So, yeah, as soon as, let's see, November, May, November, or September. So I'm thinking we might hold the summer fair. That'd be fun. Duke Sighard I will hold a summer fair. Now, we need to find him a wife. Before we do any... Well, nope, there we go. Preferably... to get ourselves, like... You there, my Bavarian friend. So, well, she's a bit too old. We won't do that, but... Well, no, probably not in a bishopric. Innsbruck! Already done. We could try that. Or, is there anybody in Pressburg here? No. Crane, perhaps? I don't think that would get us any sort of claim on that. Nothing going on, and that's a grand city, so that certainly won't work. Istra, perhaps? Nope. Another big city, or grand city, I suppose would be the correct way to say that. Where else do we want to sort of expand into? I believe Croatia is still part of the Empire. I guess I should clarify which empire. The Byzantine Empire, so that's probably a no-go. But... a little bit too old. I'm not exactly sure why I'm that concerned about getting kids out of this, but I mean, if I can get... Ooh. Should we go ahead and marry the Croatian queen? That seems a bit crazy. By the time she turns child-producing age, I bet you Sighard's going to be dead. So, that's probably not going to work. Where else can we go? Anybody in Bohemia, perhaps? How old are you? 12. That's looking a bit more promising. Or can we just go for some close-by land? No, doesn't look like it. Nope. What about... I always want to call this piece of land Bruno, so... Looks like that's the same. Yeah, that's all the same. There we go. Why not her? Why not indeed? She looks pretty good, and she's lustful, so... There we go. Our usual Bavarian choice. Excellent. What else we got? Unmarried ruler, vassal inheritance. I'm not too concerned about losing my Polish land. So that's fine. And, well, we should be able to go. Also, I didn't realize that sieging armies actually generated money that would be worthwhile. So, yeah. I'm going to definitely make sure to do that. Actually, oh, it's too late to change that. The next time I'm, of course, stuck in a war. And Sir Big BB. I think technically, these lands are actually a part of the Duchy of Triol. So they're not technically Austrian, but they certainly will become Austrian. I mean, they're part of the Kingdom of Bavaria anyway. And I guess once we gain those, we'll definitely have the power to gain the rest of the kingdom. So that's something to keep in mind. And that's a good thing to keep in mind. Just want to make sure. Arg. Can we change that yet? Probably not. Okay. Do we want to adjust anything here? I don't think so. Maybe feudal taxation? Well, the vassals probably hate me enough already, so we'll just leave those for now. And we should concentrate on rebuilding or getting squire lists built up. Although, looking at it, knowing that there's going to be another Polish, at least one other Polish duke sitting on the throne, it might not be the best idea to throw money into squire lists that are just going to change anyway. So, what did I see up here? Znojmo, a Dojan. There we go! Friedrich von Babenberg, another Redbeard running things? You're my new marshal. Absolutely. That sounds like a great idea. So, oh, damn it. We missed the summer fair. Okay, what's the next one? September. We're going to go on a grand hunt. There we go. Expensive, but I don't care. We're going to go find a white stag. The hounds were more alert this morning than I've ever seen before. Something stupendous must be awaiting us. What are we waiting for? Let's go! I think my horse has a limp. I don't care what it is. We'll hunt it. Oh, that's pretty good. Alright, let's do this another day. Diligent. Yes. The dogs have caught a scent of a boar in the forest. This is the chance of getting a mighty boar slain. So much for the white stag. Oh. The peasants will finish it. I will face it alone with my spear. That looks pretty cool. There we go. And a white hart has been seen in the north of Österreich. I'm told it is a hart of 10 and the biggest deer ever seen. I find no joy in killing it. I will send out a best hunter. This is my kill. We could use the prestige boost, so we will send Pendota. Interesting name. There we go, have fun with it. The grand hunt is over for now. This was truly a noble endeavor, and a true challenge for our martial abilities. Yay, more prestige! So there we go. What a handy little way to just boost some things up. I definitely need to remember to use these more often. Ooh, hold a feast, eh? For a year's worth of monthly prestige? And all my vassals will... Oh, I have given the orders for a great feast to be hosted in Österreich. Let the preparations begin. Yay, feasting! While I was busy preparing for my feast, a troop of wandering jongleurs arrived at the castle. They looked a bit ragged, but their performance entertained the whole castle. Perhaps I should think about offering them my patronage. Oh, they will be perfect entertainment for the feast. Yeah, absolutely. The best part about preparing a feast is deciding what foodstuff to serve. I must purchase venison, boar, and duck, spices, wine, and ale, honey for the desserts, cheese, and perhaps even a swan or a peacock. We are gonna spend lavishly, because we got the money to throw around. Most of the preparations for the feast have been made. Now I only have to send out the invitations. I hereby invite all of you people to my castle. Thank you for the invitation. In fact, you refused to set foot in my castle. Well, alright, full card. We didn't want you here anyway. You're the only one, too. You're missing out on probably the most fun the dukedom will see all ever. That's fine, you know, you don't want to be a part of it. That's just fine. The guests have finally arrived. All is ready. The cooks have worked day and night preparing the food, and the castle has never looked lovelier. Welcome! Bishop Giselbert cut the throat of one of my servants when the clumsy man spilled wine over his garb. That's intense! Sir, you are an ass and shall be locked up. The more wine Baron Dalamir drank, the more and louder he talked and laughed until he let out a loud snore and fell face first onto his plate. The servants discreetly removed him from the table and took him to a bedchamber. And a von Babenberg to boot. That's disgusting, sir. The last of the guests have returned home, and everyone agreed it was the year's greatest feast. Wonderful. So that paid off. Excellent. We're gonna have to let money build up. And, I could stop recording, but that would be very rude to Comrade Dan. So, sir, question about... We'll get to you in a second here, Z-Card. When I hand the AI control, or when I hand my army over to the AI, does the AI control it? Or do I control the AI army? Because I'm not really comfortable giving the Austrian military over to some Bavarian duke to march around. However, if the Bavarian troops became mine, I could see myself using that quite a bit. As you watch some birds darting nimbly through the air, you find yourself wondering why it is that man cannot do the same. There have been unsuccessful attempts to make flying contraptions in the past, but clearly those designs were all conceived by fools. Building a machine that can fly will help improve my learning. I'm sure it can be done! This will end perfectly. And let me tell you, Comrade Dan, the fuggers will never, fugglers. That's not fuggers. Fugglers. They'll never learn. In your quest to build a flying machine, you spend countless hours with dusty old tomes and parchments in an effort to learn about all the failed attempts to fly, lest you repeat their mistakes. You are finally at a point where you feel you have learned enough to begin construction of a prototype. I shall rule the skies. And before we start going after these guys, we're going to need squire lists rebuilt. And I'm also going to need to ensure that Germans are going to be in the succession order so that I don't lose out on the bonus knights before I go off marching after those cities. But soon. Don't worry. Soon we'll do it. The prototype of your flying machine is near completion, but it would probably be ill-advised to pilot the thing yourself on its maiden flight. Fortunately, you know of several promising candidates who could probably be persuaded to take this historic leap of faith on your behalf. Otis, the cook's overweight son. Beldrick, local dung-gatherer and dog's boy. Or the dog belonging to the blacksmith's daughter. Well, I mean, if it can carry the overweight son, it'll be able to carry anybody. So, there we go. You find a suitably steep cliff from which to launch the maiden flight of your flying machine. Otis agrees to be strapped into the contraption, especially after you bribe him with sweets. You see, it's a good thing I picked the fatty. You give him a gentle push over the cliff and leave the rest to fate in the wind. He plummets down like a sack of stones, trailing debris. Otis, move your legs if you're still alive! Let him rot. After carefully examining the wreckage of your flying machine, you conclude that the physique of Otis was simply too much for its delicate frame to bear. At any rate, the ungrateful boy now refuses to have anything to do with your machines. Looks like you will have to fly the next prototype yourself. I do this? Whoa. If I die... If I die, that won't be a good thing. Who are the pretenders? Popo! Oh, I hope you put... Crazy hair. I hope he puts up a fight. Despite the fact that he has consumption, is stressed, is a drunkard, and a little bit proud, and greedy. Yes, I do this for the betterment of mankind. Ruprecht, your father's a pilot! With a new and improved flying machine, return to the cliff. Otis waits below, as you will take the faithful plunge yourself this time. You close your eyes and leap into the air from the cliff. For a few seconds, you feel the wind rushing past your face until something soft breaks your fall. It is Otis. I was flying, Otis! Did you see? Otis? Well, at least Otis broke my fall. Despite your efforts, it seems the secrets of flight will have to be uncovered by future generations. Your attempts have been unsuccessful, but you have learned much about the value of science and scholarly research. Your learning has improved. Yay! That's just wonderful. Choose a new ambition. What do we want? We want to become a marshal. Because we're good at that. Alright, so... To the most illustrious Duke Sighard I, the good burghers of Outrenberg are barely able to pay their taxes. Our coffers are empty. I humbly ask that you lower the tax rates for your citizens. Your humble servant, Mayor Guntram. We're just gonna flatter and soothe him. Oh, Guntram. Your name suggests that you should be far more intelligent than you obviously are. Yes. I guess that's not really flattering or soothing him, is it? That's just insulting the poor man. Alright. Thank you. Okay, so, I will be back when something exciting happens. Alright, so I'm not sure if this classifies as something exciting, but I've been taking a look, there we go, that's the thing I've been looking for, at the successors. And we've got Michael here, who is Polish, and then we've got Popo, who's German, and Andreas, who's German. So I'm thinking, despite him being a very good chancellor, he can be replaced by Ruprecht, which wouldn't be too bad. Or even Eric, or Pendota, whoever. It might not be a bad idea to possibly remove him. Yes, now who can we invite? Is there anybody who supports this? It doesn't look like it. Alright. Then we're gonna cancel that. It was a fleeting thought. I'll be back with something that's actually... Well, you know what? We're close enough. Let's build. So that large keep is gonna take forever to build. How about Znojmo? Are we done in there? Almost done. Passau, what can we build? Let's see. Steiermark. Or indeed Carton. Anything that I want. Alright, so in Steiermark, we shall build training grounds. Get some morale up there. Alright, back with more exciting news. I could not help but overhearing the stablemaster and a courtier's animated discussion. Something about a horse and a payment due today, but the courtier insisted to pay the stablemaster later that week. Well, I should intervene. I settled the matter between Duchess Helena and my stable master. I tried to be as just as I could, and they still won't speak to each other. I may be the Duke, but come on, getting involved in other people's business, that's just not right. Oh well. Back with exciting things, like a castle keep in Znojmo! Slowly building up. Not enough money to build anything. Alright, back later. Oh, my liege has a child in need of a guardian and a mentor. We shall offer the Kaiser my services. The offer is deeply appreciated, however, we have someone else in mind. Oh, fine. Ass. We shall... Oh! We'd kind of be stupid not to nominate myself. There we go. Alright. Well, we'll see if that comes to anything. Back with more exciting things. So not that anything crazy or new or exciting is happening, but while I'm waiting, I decided to flip over to the Independent Realms map and just check out what's going on. What is up with Europe in the year 1236? Couple of interesting things. Denmark here's looking like a badass, even with land in the middle of Russia. And it looks like they're dominating the Baltic, chewing up Sweden. We got Norway here split between Trondelag and Vestlandet. Moving on further east here, you know, Karelia, Russia. You can see the Golden Horde and the Ilkhanate just starting to become a factor out east. Okay, and further east. So that's getting kind of concerning. Hopefully they decide to take on the Byzantine Empire. Because, really, you know, that's probably the best bet for them. As we can see, the Byzantines have been a little bit successful. They've at least been able to keep their empire together. And it looks like they've managed to take a fair bit of the Holy Land. Holy crap. My cat. Going crazy yet again. Never understand that creature. Further on, the Muslims here are looking kind of fractured. With Syria being what looks to be the dominant player in the region. Although we'll see if the Ilkhanate here changes any of that. We got a couple of probably Crusader states developing in northern Africa there. So Sicily, which really... Oh, nope. I stand corrected. Sicily is part of the Muslim world. So the Christian West has not been able to take the soccer ball. Furthermore, Mali in Africa there, looking pretty interesting. Castile has absolutely dominated southern France, been able to keep that. We can see England has dominated northern France, except for Brittany, which has been able to retain their independence. It would appear that the Scots and the Welsh have decided that Ireland is the place to conquer. And the Holy Roman Empire is the big blob in the middle. So I'm imagining this can't really this can't remain, or maybe it can. Who knows? Genoa looks like it's been able to retain a little bit of independence, and France has taken some of Spain. Well, Spain or Castile. Well, you know, most of France is in Castilian hands. So even though we've got about 200, we've got basically 210 years before the end date of Crusader Kings 2, but taking a look at this, I mean, it's going to be an interesting conversion. Yeah, should make for interesting times. And of course, here we are. And we're going to upgrade the castle city to get more money. And I will be back with more interesting things. And also, playing around with the diplomatic views. Here we've got our not diplomatic views, but all the different views. Here's our diplomatic relations. So I'm assuming yellow means right? Like, it's okay. And I'm assuming black is just, you know, there we go, not good. So we are going to send my chancellor to improve relations actually with our friend, well, not really our friend, but our closest friend, the Duke of Bavaria. Let him rot. And we've approved medium crown authority, so we will not be declaring war on any of our imperial friends. Which is fine. If we can get this up even higher, moving the mouse seems to help stress that. And, yeah, hopefully we can get high so I can get primogeniture on the roll and not have to worry about this craziness. We will diplomatically explain why we cannot grant mercy to my vassals. So, we'll be back with some more news. Agafia has dragged her unfaithful spouse Berthold before me, and insists I should punish him. Okay, this is probably a waste of my time. I believe, he's, you know, kin. She isn't. So we could just send him a couple days into the dungeon. But really, I've got a duchy to run. All right, I can't just be deciding who gets thrown in jail for what. I mean, the guy's lustful, you know? And it's not like he's had any bastard kids, so just chill. Just chill out. Alright? Relax. I'm not gonna throw him in jail. He's a douchebag, and he's not a very good person, but that doesn't mean he should be thrown in jail. It's ridiculous. Sambor. That's a name. Where can we send Sambor? Preferably to a German. And we'll make it this guy. Giselbert. Oh. Well, why would they show a dead man? That doesn't make any sense. That guy. And you. Thank you very much. You gonna agree to it? Wonderful. Alright, we'll be back with more news later. Alright, and our good friend... Well, not good friend, but our Bavarian friend, Magnus here, has created a little faction for himself, so we're gonna go ahead and join that faction. We support him in becoming the next Holy Roman Emperor. That's pretty much all I got to do there. Oh! I've discovered a plot where Kaiser Philip I of the Holy Roman Empire seeks to kill Sighard I. Really? Well, that's not very nice. And your damn plot... No! Excuse me, sir. Intrigue, factions, independence. So we can see we've got a fairly strong independence movement already started up here, so we're going to go ahead and join that as well. Screw you, Kaiser. We don't need you. Alright, back with exciting news. The passion between me and Helen was still there, only slumbering beneath our skin, and easily woken to life with lover's touch. It was hot, fierce, wonderful lovemaking, such as we used to have. Helen showed who was the boss in the bedchamber. Oh my. There we go. That's pretty exciting news. Now, let's see, what can we spend our money on? Considering there's a very good chance that we're going to wind up having to go to war, I want to keep that money kicking around. Just about 100 in the bank. But, I mean, the castle keep is a good idea, no matter what. So in Passau, we'll upgrade that, and worry about upgrading the city next. And so we've almost got the large castle city built in Vienna, so that's good. Huzzah! Back with more news. And here we are. Duke Zighod the Ill Ruler has called us into the Second Mordinian League Independence War. Alright, so we already have a 17% victory rate there, which is good. We've no claims whatsoever on any of this land, which is, not so good. Looks like we've got the Moravian army, or the Bohemian army, to the north of us. And nothing else really going on to the south. What I'm going to do is take my diplomat and see if we can fabricate a claim on Crane. Because I think that's a good idea. It looks like Aquiella is staying nice and neutral, so that's good. We only have one little border on the southern flank. The rest is up north. That's what we've got to be concerned about. Now, nope. One thing that I wish this game had, that Victoria does have, is when there's a war, you can see all the nations fighting in it, right? That is very, very helpful, and I don't think such a thing exists for Crusader Kings 2, which is sadly unfortunate. So, let's go ahead and raise up our levies. Have them muster in Vienna. I guess we can snag our Polish troops. Nope, they're part of Denmark. So the furthest we can go west is Stettin. And they probably won't be enough, so we'll just go ahead and disband them. Okay. Is this? Yeah, that wouldn't be mine. To the most illustrious Duke Zighod I, the good burghers of Linz, barely able to pay their taxes. Our coffers are empty. Flatter and soothe him. We need the money, we're at war with the Empire! Let's merge that up. So, yes, they are indeed. But what shall we do with my 6,000 men? It looks like most of the fighting is going on in the south, which makes sense. I do believe this is mainly Italians fighting for their independence, and Provence, I believe, as well. That's good. So at least that's a larger ally we've got on our side. I guess we could possibly go after Bohemia here, but I'm thinking let's just head west into Salzburg and start there. How? How is that? How can that be raised too long? When really all that happened was they got raised and then they marched to Austria and then they got combined. And now my vassals are complaining. It's ridiculous. That's nowhere near enough time. Okay, so the war ended inconclusively. Pretty useless. Pretty useless. Alright, well, I guess that's all that had. A chance to prove our worth. Ruprecht asks, "Daddy, where do children come from?" What kind of leader is this? A brilliant strategist, mystic, charitable, ambitious, just, kind, and diligent. So we'll just... Trusting, deceitful, craven. Cynical, deceitful. What does cynical do? Yeah, that sounds good. And actually, do we have time to hold a feast? We do. We shall hold a feast. No feast is complete without boar meat. Who will get the prestigious task of hunting and slaying the boars needed for the feast? Send our Marshal Friedrich. I will hunt them myself, or force the peasants to hunt. We're gonna get him myself. That's a shame. Alright. Thank you. We need to find a militant German. Ah. There we go. She's a bit old. He certainly isn't. Educate. Emilric. How's about it? Wonderful. The fire blasted right past my face, and I felt how my hair started to curl away from the fire. The fire eater had been a bit too careless for my taste, but his troop and he was clearly greatly skilled. Oh, the guests would be impressed with him. While I was busy preparing for my feast, a troop of wandering jongleurs arrived at the castle. They'll be perfect. We're gonna have some serious entertainment up in here. Spending lavishly on food. It's a shame that boy will miss the feast. Now we send out our invitations. A bastard of my dynasty. So let's get her well away from things and send her to... Let's get the culture down, find ourselves a German husband for her. Whoops, there we go. I mean, we could send her to Claw. That might not be a bad idea. Intrigue, no, not really, eh? There we go. A good, intriguing husband. Wonderful, they got married. Happy times. Thank you. And, you know what? I think... Well, we'll finish the feast off. The guests have finally arrived. All is ready, the cooks have worked day and night, and the castle has never looked lovelier. Everyone drank and were happy, except Mayor Guntram, who refused more wine. How dare he insult me? That bastard. It's because he's hideous, is really what it is. Oh dear. Well, I'm indifferent towards that. What is with people coming to my feasts and cutting the throats of people? Sure, my servants might be a little bit clumsy, but I mean, come on. Seriously? Quit killing my servants. I need them. Some of my guests did not seem satisfied with the food, but I never would have thought one of them would have complained out loud. Lord Mayor Alihegro said a lot of nasty stuff about the food, and I couldn't help but feel irritated. There's the freaking Galrians, you know? They're a blight. The tournament ends, and I have shown time and time again that my glory in arms, even if I did not win, I still covered myself in glory. That really doesn't seem like a good sentence, but you know what? It's medieval times, so we'll let it slide. The lasts of the guests have returned home, and everyone agreed it was the year's greatest feast. Well, except for maybe this jerk. And Guntram, who didn't like the wine. People exclaimed in wonder and fear when the Fire Eaters performed. After their performance was over, many eyebrows and beards were singed, but none of the guests seemed to care when they applauded them. Excellent. Apparently, the Baroness here really enjoyed having her eyebrows blown off. I can kind of see why. Those are interesting eyebrows. What would a feast be without entertainment? The Jonglier's dexterity and skill impressed and captivated my guest, making me very pleased. And yet again, this Baroness just had the time of her life. She hates me, and I'm not a fan of her. But I think we can both agree things were good. I would love to be appointed your marshal, despite me being a rebel. Thank you, sir. And with that goal achieved in my life, what do we want? Apparently the last thing I've got to do on my bucket list is have a daughter. So, we'll see if that happens next time. Save the game. Austria. Yes, thank you. So, thumbs up if you've enjoyed this episode. Leave your comments, questions, concerns, jokes, thoughts, musings, what have you below. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.